Hello, church. I was thinking about what to share today, and last evening we had the Bible study with Lori, and Lori often asks the questions that make you ponder, and she did go around the room and ask each one of us, how are you faring right now, now that we know that this pandemic is not going away anytime soon. And there were all the different variety of words, and some more positive than others. But I found myself struggling with what one word to use, because part of what I'm feeling, besides just being overwhelmed by this, is a sense of inadequacy. Nothing prepared pastors like me on how to be your pastor at a time like this. And it can leave us with all sorts of mixed emotions. But then I thought back on one of the ordination questions that when a person is ordained for ministry, whether it be a pastor or an elder, we're asked all these questions about our faith, but the one that came to mind for me was this: will you seek to serve the people with energy, intelligence, imagination, and love? Wow. That's what I'm ordained to do, is to, with God's help, strive to lead you with those four words: energy, intelligence, imagination, and love. And it struck me that right now, imagination is the big word. How can we imagine a new way to be church together? How can we imagine a new way to be community, to be tightly knit together, not only with God, but with one another? How can we do that? And then I read this psychological discovery of some point. It said, psychologists have found that creativity often becomes a powerful force in people's lives in times of crisis. The reason is because psychological barriers that stop people from being creative, like daily routines, ingrained habits, the expected norms of society and church, they fade into the background during a crisis, thus creating space to imagine and revisit dreams. In other words, while we can see this as a downer, this space created by this pandemic can just be the space we need to revisit our dreams and to develop a great imagination of who we could and should be. I don't know about you, but I've decided to try things I haven't tried. I made Mom's pickle recipe in, 30 years. And so we're growing cucumbers in abundance. And yep, I was creative and now have, I think, 8 or 9 jars. It's a wonderful thing to figure out what that looks like. And I'm hearing other people, I picked up my guitar again. I haven't played it for years. Or my paintbrush. I've never thought I was much of a painter. And because this creativity, this using our imagination, can help us to discover new things. In fact, I read about this, saw a beautiful piece of artwork. It was done by this young man who has Down syndrome. And it's a beautiful piece. And then he wrote these words in a poem that went with it. Close your eyes, envision a world of light and need of peace, guiding the world, lifting our spirits in loving harmony. And then he wrote, keep smiling. Maybe that's the most creative thing we can and should do right now. So I would encourage you to think, what might you explore? What dream might you revisit? How might you take the feelings of, being distraught during this pandemic into a new way of sensing that God may lead you individually and us as a church into beautiful new places? Be blessed.